Welcome here.
Thank you.
So, I'm with you, Alejandro Monteverde.
Mm-hmm.
You are the director and also co-writer of The Sound of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And the film is nominated for Best American Movie.
Oh, great.
So, did you expect a nomination?
No.
You didn't?
I don't expect anything. So I keep expectations low, so when everything happened, it's great. So I didn't expect nomination. Mm-hmm. I did not expect the film to be in Amsterdam.
Oh, wow.
I didn't expect the film to be doing so well around the world. So I'm just very happy.
Very excited, I see.
Very excited.
Well, yeah, the film was originally a sleeper movie, actually. Like, people didn't know that it would blow up like this. So how are you feeling about it? And also your co-writer.
It's surreal. It's surreal. You know, driving my bike here, I try to be in the present and live every moment. And I was riding the bike and I'm like, wow, this is so cool that this film that was on the limbo, that was forgotten for many years, it got me to be riding this bike, going to celebrate the success of the film. So just very excited.
I can imagine, because you began writing the film in 2015, right?
2016, I started writing. 2015, I conceived the desire to write the film.
Wow.
And I started physically writing on 2016.
Okay. So what was the inspiration of the movie?
It was, I saw this subject matter on a news report, and it shook my soul. And there's a quote in there, I don't know who forgot the name, but it says, for darkness to triumph, to win, is for good people to know about it and do nothing about it.
That's
and
true.
I didn't want to be part of that. So I said, well, I'm not saying I'm a good people, I'm saying I'm trying to be good people.
That's good.
And I started to write a movie about it, but a fiction, not this film. And I was writing for like 3 months. And then somebody called me and say, I want you to meet Tim Ballard, who's an expert on the subject. He was a federal agent that was working to fight crimes against children, especially in sexual exploitation. So I wanted to meet him just to download more data, more information.
Yeah.
And when I learned about his life, I realized that his life surpassed my fiction that I was writing. So then I shifted.
Wow. So how was it working with him and getting to know all the stories actually?
It was a journey. It was a journey because, you know, when you write a biopic from somebody who's no longer on this earth, it's way easier. You can take as much creative license as you want. You know, some of my favorite films are biopics, like Amadeus. It's a great film. But did Salieri say, I killed Mozart? Most likely no. So in this case, it was difficult because everything I was writing, he was reading and he was like, oh, it didn't happen like that. But as a storyteller, as a filmmaker, you must take creative license. So it was difficult because my hands were tied into how much I could just, you know, stretch. You know, when you make a biopic, the goal is to fictionalize elements so you can explore a level of truth. But it's never intended to be a documentary. So
that's a whole other genre.
yeah, but in this case I had to stay very close to how things happen because, you know, he was reading every page.
Yes. Oh, I get that can be difficult.
Very difficult.
But at the
Took me
same
3 years.
2 years
Yeah,
of
3
filming.
years of writing the script.
Writing. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I get it because you want to express your own creativity, of course.
Yes.
But at the same time, have to stay close with the truth and
Yeah.
to tell the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. What was the funniest thing that happened on set, even though it's a very serious movie?
Funny. It could be funny. It wasn't funny then, but maybe right now might be funny. One day I get a call that the lead actor, Jim Caviezel, it's really, really sick and they need to take him to the hospital.
Oh no.
And I say, no, don't take him to the hospital. I need to talk to him first. So I went to the room, into his hotel, and he was dying. I mean, but I asked him, are you dying? And he says, no, I'm just really sick. He had food poisoning. And I said, well, can you not go to the hospital and I will rewrite the scene as if you are complete hangover in the scene. I'll give you a bucket, and if you need to throw up in camera. Yes. It'll be good for the film because you're hangover. So he said, I'll give you 2 hours, and then from there I got to the hospital. I said, okay. So we brought him in. He was like passing out. And when you see the film, when he comes out with a bucket, he was literally, when I would say cut, he will just lay down on the bed, passed out. And then one more, they'll help him pick him up. And then so he barely was able to make the film. But for me, that was the beauty of these movies. People were committed.
Yeah, that's
dedication. Another actor says, no way, I'm going to the hospital, you lose a day of shooting, which I could not afford. We were a small movie.
Yeah.
You lose 1 day of shooting, you're finished.
Yeah. Wow, that's what I call dedication from both ends.
Yeah.
Wow. How was it working with him?
Great. He's a serious actor, very intense and very committed. So in the beginning, it took a little while for us to break the ice.
Yeah.
But once we broke the ice, we built a beautiful friendship.
That's beautiful. So what is your own directing style? How do you like to direct the movie in general and the actors, of course?
Every movie tells me, I listen to the film, I direct every film completely different, depending on the subject matter.
Yeah.
Sound of Freedom, because it was so, the subject was so dark. I had to kind of figure out a process where I will listen to the film and not get my vision on the way. Because sometimes, I can make movies where it's only about my vision, and it's not a democracy, it's a dictatorship. We only do it this way, and there is no
way around it.
No, there's no ideas from others. It's like, we shoot it this way and that's it. That's my last movie, Cabrini. I shot it like that. Sound of Freedom was completely different. It was more, let's see, we'll walk into a location and allow for what I call divine accidents. Let's let it happen. Two different ways of working. So it depends on the project. Yeah. My new movie, Cabrini, I decided to go in that direction because it was extremely crafted. The whole movie is choreographed. It's a dance. So it's like if you are dancing, you cannot create your own move because you will get out of sync with your dance partner. So it's not like you're dancing salsa and all of a sudden you decide to do a rap, like a hip hop move. It's not gonna work. In Sound of Freedom, I was allowing, my motto in Sound of Freedom was not to get in the way. So if I will arrive to a place and I will see something that I would change the whole, shooting style that day.
Wow.
So it's different. Every movie is different.
Different. So what was the message, or what is the message that you want to send to the world with Sound of Freedom?
The simplest message in the world. There's not
that is
the simplest. It's just to create a conversation, a social dialogue about one of the most important things that we are facing as a humanity. There is a prioritize, you have to prioritize. If you have a heart problem and a broken leg, which one are you gonna go to the doctor first?
You should.
The heart, right?
Heart indeed.
So in here, if our children of the world are being sexually abused or any kind of abuse, like doesn't have to be physical abuse, psychological abuse, we need to protect them first. They are the heart of the world.
Amen.
But if we are distracted in protecting other things and not protecting this, it's like protecting the knee first. You have to fix the heart because they are the future. How can you expect a kid that was raped or molested to get older and care about trees or care about whales or care about the earth? You can't expect that if all he knows is physical hate or psychological hate.
Exactly.
So for me, it's just very interesting that we spend so much time. There's more commercials in TV about caring for dogs. I'm serious. Than for programs to help children around the world. I don't think children should have a nationality. Just like the whales don't have nationality. Children should be protected by the world. Amen. Once you cross 18, then okay. But if you're under 18 or 16, whatever the age is, you must be protected. So if a kid in Haiti, something happens to him, it shouldn't be, oh, well, let the Haitians protect him, because they may not have the resources. I think the world should come in and intervene and say, hey, you don't mess with a 7-year-old kid, belongs to the world. I don't think that's never going to happen, but I do feel, the purpose of this film was just to do this, what we're doing right now, to create a social dialogue. That's it. I have no answers. I don't know what the solution is, but I do feel the beginning is there. Start a conversation. Yes. Conversation leads to awareness, and awareness might lead to change.
That is definitely true, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Really. So, are the conversations that you want to be there in the world, do you see them happening now that the movie is there? Do you see little change, or do you see those conversations happening?
Yes, a lot of changes. For me, just from my point of view, a lot of friends of mine have come to me and open up about how they were molested when they're kids. Wow. And they've never talked about it before. This movie made them open about it, so that's a conversation. Yes. Now a lot of people are being open more about their personal experiences. I also have gotten a lot of emails from different non-profit organizations that help fight the the child trafficking. Good. Or organizations that help to incorporate the victims into society with so much trauma. And they just say thank you because we're getting flooded with money. Wow. So people, after they see the film, they feel moved to help their local organizations. Yeah. So that's from my first hand of what I've seen. I'm sure there's so many others that I'm not aware of, but I just know that as of today, there's been more than 25 million people that have seen the film. So that's a good start. That's a very good start. And hopefully, when it goes to streaming, it continues on. To grow. Yeah. Wow! Congratulations. Thank you. It's amazing. Well, it's a collective work. So, how was it working with the cast and with the crew? It's great. Yeah. Everybody was in the film filled with conviction, so they will. This is not a movie that you could finish if you put 100%. 100% was not enough because it was very challenging. You have to put 140, 150%. Even more. Way more. Yeah. I worked on Sundays on this film, and when people found that I was working on Sundays, they just started showing up. So that's out of their own grace that they wanted to do it. Yeah, they were really dedicated. Yeah. And really felt it within their hearts. Yeah. Wow. So, just to round it up, what are you looking forward to the most in today, but also tomorrow here at Septimius? Just more of these, that people start talking about it, and that's the pure motive of the film, is to create a social dialogue, so that when people see the film and they start having a conversation, that's an important conversation. We should not be scared. It's not a taboo. It's okay to talk about it. It's happening. And if people think it's not happening, I invite them to just do their own research. I mean, their research where to buy shoes. Why don't they research what's the numbers of children being missing in that particular country? Exactly. Or what's the rate, or what's happening to children, what kind of abuse. Like when I was in Brazil, they told me in Brazil what it is. It's not that it's so much child trafficking, it's actually child prostitution. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe next dinner talk about it, so see if that leads to any. But the first thing is awareness. I didn't know, and when I was in Brazil, I found out a lot of people didn't know either. Wow. How many children go missing in the United States? most Americans don't know. I don't want to tell them. I say just go to Homeland Security or the FBI, and those numbers are there, they're reported. So,
Numbers don't lie.
so I invite everybody just in each country just to do their own research for themselves, which is important.
It is.
Stop. I think it's very important that people stop becoming too much part of the collective thought. Create your own thoughts. It's very dangerous to just be like, you know, let's all think, even though it defies sometimes truth. You know, it's
Think for yourself.
the most important thing. That's what I teach my kids. I even tell them, don't believe everything I say. Go and research it to see if I'm right or wrong. And you know how many times they come back and they say you were wrong? And I like that. If I say something, and you know, stupid stuff, but if I say, like, how many million lives in Mexico City? I'm like, 20 million. They come back as, you were wrong, 20 something. I'm like, okay. So I invite that, to say, do your own thinking.
Great. I think that's a great message.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.